We're sitting here with Adone Ari Benyahmeen. How are you doing, Adone?
Ani too. Ani too.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Mama.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
First, I want to start off by asking you about what do you think about this celebration and this 100 years celebration of commandment keepers all the way down to some of the organizations that we come from that are branches off that tree. What do you think about this whole event, this whole week, this Centennial week? What are your thoughts on it?
I'm very happy. I've been here quite some time myself, and I've been with a lot of the houses that are coming together now.
Right.
So I'm happy to see them come together, and relive, our history, and relive our history, and bring the words to life as unity.
Um, in terms of commandment keepers, the different congregations, what congregation did you originate from that you started actually doing this, walking this way of life? Were you born in this way of life? Did you come in at a very early age? Can you explain your history in this way of life?
Came in at a very early age. I came in with Cohen Lewy, my godfather, and Moreh Yosef, my uncle. Started at Bnai Yisrael. From there, the two of them, as they evolved in information, they branched off
Right.
to Hashaba, and then they also branched off into Kol Sheri. So those are my roots from there. And also being my uncle, Rabbi Bezalel Ben Yehuda, he was with Commandment Keepers.
Okay.
So I had touched base with there, and all of the other branches from Bnei Zakim, from Chushama. I have family and brothers there, so I feel associated with all the houses,
Right.
because of the family ties.
Right. In terms of Israel during that time and that era of the 60s, right? Because you're talking that far back and maybe even 50s, right?
Yes.
How were the congregations at that point? You said you had some people from Commandment Keepers, I
Right.
believe you said.
Right.
You got Kosheri, you got Hashaba. How did Israelites interact in that time?
Well, I can say this right here because of the broadness of the elevation of the information. There were always acceptance, but it was a newness, to a lot of us, and but I remember Moreh Yosef, my uncle, when he developed the first Israelite calendar.
Okay.
And we had the first New Year's Eve down at the Mason Ballroom.
Right.
Everybody came.
Right.
Everybody was interested.
Right.
And from there, everybody took that information back to with their respective, places.
Right.
But it was a ongoing uphill trek for all of us.
Right.
But there was always a unity, but it was just that we were separated by where we dwelt at.
Where we dwelt in.
Right.
So, being that a lot of people they know about Kosheri, it seems like you have an extensive history with Kosheri and of Kosheri. Can you explain to us do you remember when Kosheri was established? Were you there when they first opened up their doors? Do you remember that whole time in Moreh Yosef?
Yes.
Establishing it.
Yes, I remember. We started out at his house in Queens,
Right.
and then a little storefront on 3rd Avenue in the Bronx.
Right.
And from that storefront, we went to 1924 Longfellow Avenue in the Bronx,
Right.
and that's where they are present.
And what year was that he opened up the doors at Longfellow Ave? Do you remember?
Oh, let me see.
60s,
well,
70s?
my son is in his about 38 years old now.
Right.
So, and we were there before he was born.
Before he was born.
So it's been that long.
About 40 years,
Yeah.
give or take. Yeah. So Moreh Yosef, how was he as a man? Because a lot of people, he kind of gets lost sometimes in the history, but a lot of people learn from him. He was the teacher for a lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people came through the doors of Kosher Reap. So I want you to express him being your uncle, what type of person he was, how was he as a teacher. Can you just bring him to life to those that might not know?
Sure. Moreh Yosef is very broad-minded, in-depth, knowledgeable person. Heartwarming person as well, and very brotherly. He's Yosef.
Right.
And Yosef, always had a soft spot and a hard part for his brothers. Wanting them to, be one. Information-wise, he was there. Book-wise, he was there. Nation-wise, he was there. And like you said, so many people, know of him and came through him. But I look at it like this right here. It's like martial arts.
Right.
What your personality is, the style you like,
Right.
that's where you will, that's where you go.
Right.
I can put it like that to you.
Right.
I hope that you can understand.
People will understand.
Right.
So, in terms of the growth of Israel, right? Because you see many aspects of Israel and many faces of Israel, right? What do you see us today in parallel to where we was maybe 40, 50 years ago? Because we're talking about you've been around for about 50 years, 50 something years. What do you see? What are the contrasts? What are the things that we're lacking that we used to have back then? And what are the things that we have today that maybe we could have used back then?
Well, the information is evolutionary. The Torah is evolutionary. When we read the Torah, we didn't know anything about a quart of blue in the fringes.
Right.
And we were die-hard teachers. Hakon, Haggadah, Moreh Levi, we were, all the rabbis. We were die-hard teachers.
Right.
It wasn't until recently. I'm saying recently that we realized what the quart of blue was in the fringes.
Right.
So the information is evolutionary if we're revolutionary about it. I'm just happy to see more, Israelites returning. When I went to school, you wouldn't see an Israelite until Shabbat. You wouldn't see a keeper until Shabbat.
Right.
Now as you move around, thanks to the Most High, He's waking up His people, and you feel good. You're not alone.
Right.
Because this is a hard track.
Right.
To do right.
Right.
It's a hard track.
It's a hard track.
It's not easy,
Right.
It's not easy. You know what you can do out there.
Right.
But to come and serve, this God and return and be true to yourself.
Right.
In order to be truthful with anybody else, you gotta be truthful to yourself.
Right.
And we still under the guise, of this 400 years plus of slavery and degradation.
Right.
And self-hate.
Okay.
This right here is a self-love.
Right.
To return here, you have to have self-love, but you have to be able to face the truths that we have of the ugliness that we have been through.
Right.
Face the guiltiness that we have been through. Once you get there, then you can do this.
Right.